Drenesia Willis was just 17 years old. She loved music, taking pictures, and laughed with her friends. But on April 23rd, 2024, her laughter stopped forever. Her mother, LaNeshaia Pinkard, was a strong woman. She always worked hard to give her daughter a good life. She worked 2 jobs and still came home to cook dinner. She was the kind of mom who would drop everything if her daughter called her. That day, Drenesia had a fight with another girl who lived in the same apartment. No one knows exactly why they were fighting, but it was loud and angry. The other girl ran away and knocked on the door of Doris Walker, a 65-year-old woman who worked as the apartment manager. Doris opened the door and let her in. Drenesia called her mom. She told her what happened. In just a few minutes, her mother was at the apartment. Together, they went to Doris Walker's apartment. They wanted to talk, maybe fight, maybe argue. No one can say for sure. But they went inside. They were angry. There was yelling. Doris said she felt scared. She said she thought the mother had a weapon. So she did something no one expected. She picked up her gun. She shot Drenesia first. A 17-year-old girl. She was trying to leave. Then she shot LaNeshaia, her mother. Both of them fell. Blood. Silence. People called 911. The ambulance came fast. But it was too late. The mother and daughter died at the hospital. Now, Doris Walker's in jail. She says she was protecting herself. The police say it was murder. This story is not just about 3 people. It's about choices. It's about anger. It's about fear. It's about how one moment can change everything. If you're captivated by real crime stories that peel back the layers of truth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us as we uncover real cases, raise awareness, and give a voice to the voiceless. Before we dive into today's story, we want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? And how do you feel as the story unfolds? Welcome to Deadly Crime Unmasked, the show where we expose the shocking crimes that rip through communities and the chilling secrets lurking behind closed doors. These are real people, real events, real consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and activate notifications. You won't want to miss the gripping story that's coming up. Now, let's dive in. Drenesia Willis was still in high school. She had many dreams. She liked going to school and learning, but she loved doing one thing the most, dancing. Drenesia liked to dance in her room, in the living room, and even outside. She also used her phone to record herself dancing. She posted these videos on a phone app called TikTok. A lot of people liked her videos. She liked it when people smiled at her moves. Drenesia had many friends. They said she was friendly and liked to laugh. She liked to wear her favorite sneakers and sing along to songs. She helped her mom with small chores like sweeping the floor or washing the dishes. But Drenesia also had something people noticed. When she got angry, she found it hard to calm down. She could get into small fights or yell at others. People said she had a short temper, which means she could go from happy to angry very fast. Sometimes she would say mean words, but later she would feel bad and try to say sorry. Drenesia was not a bad child. She was a normal teenager. She was still learning how to act better when upset. She wanted to finish school and become a star one day. But her life ended before she could do that. LaNeshaia Pinkard was Drenesia's mother. She lived in the same apartment as her daughter. Everyone said she was a hard-working woman. She worked 2 jobs to make money. Sometimes she cleaned homes. Sometimes she worked at a store. She did not have much time to rest, but she still made time for her daughter. LaNeshaia always tried her best to be a good mom. She cooked food. She helped with homework. She checked if her daughter was safe. She bought clothes for her daughter and gave her lunch money for school. LaNeshaia was a single mother. That means the father of the child was not around. So she had to take care of everything by herself. She did not complain. She just kept working and helping her daughter grow. People said LaNeshaia was always there for her daughter. If Drenesia was in trouble, she would stop what she was doing and come right away. If someone hurt her child, she would show up. She was very protective. Some people said she did too much, but she believed it was her job to protect her only child. She loved Drenesia. She said, "That's my baby. I will always be there for her. And every time Drenesia called, her mother answered. Even when she was tired, she still came. LaNeshaia did not have a lot of money, but she gave all she had to make sure her daughter had food, clothes, and a place to sleep. She dreamed of seeing her daughter graduate, go to college, and have a better life. But she never got to see that happen. Now, both mother and daughter are gone. This story is only one part of what happened. It shows who these two people were before the sad day came. They had dreams. They had a bond. They had a life. One was a teenager who loved dancing. One was a mother who worked hard. Now, people are asking questions. People want to know why they had to die. And that brings us to you. This story happened in Dallas, Texas. It was on April 23rd, 2024. The time was in the afternoon, around 1 p.m. The place was a quiet apartment building near Fair Park. Most people were at work or resting. But something loud was about to happen. In the apartment complex, there lived a 17-year-old girl named Drenesia Willis. She was a student who lived there with her mother. Drenesia was outside the building that day. She saw another girl. The two of them had problems before. They did not get along well. No one knows exactly why. But on this day, the problem became a fight. The two girls started shouting. Then they pushed each other. It became a real fight. People who were nearby heard them. Some people saw the girls fighting. It was not just yelling. They were hitting each other. Then, the other girl got scared. She did not want to fight anymore. She ran away fast. She ran inside the building. She knocked on the door of Doris Walker. Doris Walker was the apartment manager. She was 65 years old. She lived inside the same building. She was the one who handled problems in the apartments. That day, Doris was home. The girl who was fighting with Drenesia ran to Doris's door. She knocked. Doris opened the door. She saw the girl looking scared and out of breath. The girl asked Doris to let her inside. Doris let her in and closed the door. Outside, Drenesia was still upset. She was angry. She believed the girl was hiding from her. Drenesia tried to talk to some people outside. She wanted to know where the girl went. When she found out that the girl was inside Doris's apartment, she became more upset. She tried knocking on Doris's door. No one opened. She waited. Then she did something else. She took out her phone and called her mom. Her mother's name was LaNeshaia Pinkard. She was 40 years old. She worked hard and always answered when her daughter called. When Drenesia told her mom what happened, her mom did not wait. She came quickly to the apartment. It was still afternoon when LaNeshaia arrived. She parked her car and walked straight to Doris's apartment. She found her daughter outside. Drenesia told her what happened. LaNeshaia listened. Then both mother and daughter walked together to Doris Walker's door. They knocked. They wanted to speak to Doris. No one knows what they were planning to say. Some people said they were still angry. Some said they just wanted to talk. But they knocked hard. They stood there for a while. They did not leave. Some people inside the building heard shouting. There were voices. The mother and daughter were standing at the door for a long time. They wanted Doris to come outside, or let them in. The girl who had fought with Drenesia was still hiding inside Doris's home. This was the beginning of what would soon turn into something worse. The door opened. What happened next is not very clear. Some people said Doris opened the door. Others said the mother and daughter pushed their way in. But we do know that all three women were inside Doris's apartment at some point. The first fight had already happened outside. But now, something new was starting. All three people were now involved. Drenesia, her mom LaNeshaia, and Doris Walker. This part of the story shows how a small fight can grow into something big. It started with two girls arguing, but soon more people got involved. Now, the apartment manager, a mom, and a daughter were all inside the same room. Inside Doris's apartment, the argument started quickly. There were loud voices. The women shouted at each other. No one was calm. Doris said that Drenesia and her mother, LaNeshaia, started yelling at the girl hiding inside her home. She said they were very angry and used harsh words. Doris also said the two tried to attack the girl. Doris said she was scared. She said the women made threats. She said they might have tried to hurt someone. The fight was not quiet. Neighbors heard it. People were listening from outside, but no one came in to stop it. No one knows exactly what was said in the apartment. Everyone inside had a different story. Some say the mother and daughter were only talking. Others say they were loud and looked ready to fight. Doris said she felt unsafe in her own home. In her report, Doris told the police that the mother, LaNeshaia, made her feel in danger. Doris said she thought LaNeshaia had something in her hand, maybe a weapon, but later, the police said no weapon was found. So now the question is, why did the argument grow so big? Why did no one walk away? No one was recording the fight. There is no proof of who said what first. But this moment, this small moment inside the apartment, changed everything. What started as a normal afternoon turned into something serious. And once they were inside that apartment, things happened fast. Doris said she was scared. Drenesia and her mother may have been upset. The girl hiding inside may have felt afraid too. It was 3 women in one room. Voices were raised. The shouting got louder. And soon, someone would get hurt. Doris Walker said she felt scared. She said the 2 women were shouting at her. She said they were attacking the girl she was helping. Doris said she thought the mother had a weapon, but later she told police that she never actually saw a weapon. Doris decided to pick up her gun. She aimed it at Drenesia, the 17-year-old girl. Drenesia was trying to leave. She had turned around to walk away, but Doris still pulled the trigger. The bullet hit Drenesia. She fell down. LaNeshaia screamed. She was still inside the apartment. She looked at her daughter on the floor. Doris turned the gun toward LaNeshaia. Another shot. The bullet hit LaNeshaia. She also fell down. Neighbors heard the noise. They ran to the hallway. Someone called 911. The police came quickly. So did an ambulance. The paramedics picked up Drenesia and LaNeshaia. They were taken to the hospital. Doctors tried to help, but the bullets had done too much damage. First, Drenesia was pronounced dead. Then LaNeshaia died too. After Doris Walker shot Drenesia and her mother, LaNeshaia, people in the apartment building started shouting. Some people cried. Some people ran outside. Someone quickly called the police and said, "A woman just shot 2 people." The police came very fast. They drove in their cars with sirens. When they got there, they saw 2 people on the ground. Both were not moving. The police called the ambulance. The ambulance workers picked up Drenesia and her mother, LaNeshaia. They put them on stretchers and rushed them to the hospital. But later, the doctor said both were dead. While that was happening, the police went to Doris Walker. Doris was still at the apartment. She stood outside, waiting. She did not run away. The police asked her questions. The police officer said, "What happened here?" Doris said, "I was scared. The mother, LaNeshaia, came into my apartment. I thought she had a weapon, so I used my gun." Then the police asked her again, "Did you see the weapon?" Doris said, "No, I didn't see it, but I thought she might have one." So the police asked her, "Why did you think she had a weapon if you didn't see one?" Doris said, "Because she was angry and yelling. I felt afraid." The police looked around the room. They searched everywhere. They did not find any weapon on LaNeshaia. They did not find a knife. They did not find a gun. Nothing. Just her purse and phone. The police also talked to other people who lived in the building. Some people said the mother and daughter were angry, but they didn't have a weapon. Others said, "We heard shouting, but we don't know what happened inside the apartment." The police wrote everything down. Then they looked at Doris and said, "You are under arrest for capital murder." They put handcuffs on Doris's hands and took her to jail. At the police station, Doris had to sit down and answer more questions. The police asked, "Why did you shoot the girl?" Doris said, "She was attacking someone. I thought I had to stop her." Then they asked, "Why did you shoot the mother?" Doris said, "Because I thought she had something in her hand." Again, the police asked, "Did you see something in her hand?" Doris said, "No, but I felt like she might have something." The police shook their heads. They said that thinking someone has a weapon is not the same as seeing one. They told Doris that she had used deadly force without proof. After that, Doris was placed in a jail cell. The judge later set her bail at $500,000. That means if someone wants Doris to come out of jail before a trial, they have to pay $500,000. Right now, Doris is still in jail. She says she was scared and didn't mean to kill anyone, but the police say she shot 2 people without seeing a weapon. The court will decide what happens next. A judge will look at the case. The news spread very fast. Everyone in the apartment complex heard about the shooting. People were scared. Some people said Doris went too far. They said she should not have shot anyone. One man said, even if she was scared, she didn't have to shoot them. They were not holding any weapons. Another woman said, you're supposed to call police, not pull a gun. That's the law. People said Doris had worked there for a long time. She should have known how to calm people down. Some said she was not calm that day. They said she acted too fast. A group of mothers said they didn't feel safe anymore. One said, I have 3 kids. If someone yells too loud, will she shoot next time too? But not everyone blamed Doris. Some said the mother and daughter were wrong to go into her apartment. One man said, you don't go inside someone's home if you're angry. That's dangerous. Another woman said, if they hadn't gone in, they'd still be alive. They made the first move. A teenager said, we all knew Drenesia. She was cool, but she got angry fast. Maybe she should have just walked away. Some people said the mother should have stayed calm. Others said she was only trying to help her daughter. Still, they all agreed it was a bad situation. After the shooting, the apartment complex managers came together. They had a meeting. They wanted to stop this from ever happening again. They made new safety rules. No fighting is allowed in or near any apartment. If there's a fight, call the police right away. Apartment managers are not allowed to open their doors during fights. No weapons are allowed on property, not even for managers. All complaints must go through the office and not personal apartments. They also added security cameras near the doors and hallways. They put up new lights so people can see better at night. They told all parents to talk to their children about staying calm. One manager said, we cannot bring them back, but we can try to make sure this never happened again. Even weeks later, people are still talking about what happened. They talk in the laundry room. They talk outside while watching their kids. Some are still scared. Some want to move away. Some say they will never forget that day. The building is quiet now. People walk slower. They look around more. Nobody wants to be the next one in trouble. Doris Walker now faced the consequences of her actions in court. The whole city of Dallas was watching. Everyone wanted to know, was it murder or was Doris just defending herself? This is where the story took a serious turn. Doris was charged with capital murder. This means that the police and the lawyers believed she had killed someone on purpose. They thought she used a gun when it wasn't necessary and took the lives of 2 people. The law was very clear. If someone is found guilty of capital murder, they can face serious punishment, like spending many years in prison or even worse. At first, Doris said that she was just protecting herself. She told the police that she had felt scared. She said that when LaNeshaia and Drenesia came into her apartment, she thought they were going to hurt her. Doris claimed that she believed LaNeshaia was carrying a weapon, even though she never saw it. She said the mother and daughter were angry and threatening, and that made her feel like she had no choice but to use her gun. But the police didn't believe that. They thought Doris had gone too far. The question that everyone wanted to know was it really self-defense? Or did Doris just get too scared and make a horrible mistake? The case went to court, where a judge would decide. The judge is the person in charge of the trial. The judge listens to everything, from both the lawyers and witnesses, and then makes the final decision about whether someone is guilty or innocent. Doris Walker's case would be carefully examined. During the court trial, Doris's lawyer argued that she acted in self-defense. They said that Doris didn't want to hurt anyone. She only shot when she thought her life was in danger. Doris's lawyer pointed out that she was older and smaller than the mother and daughter, which might have made her feel like she had to protect herself. They also said that Doris was trying to help the girl who was hiding in her apartment, and she only grabbed a gun because she was scared. But on the other side, the prosecution, the lawyers who were trying to prove Doris was guilty, said that Doris made a big mistake. They argued that just because she was scared didn't mean she could shoot someone. They pointed out that Doris had time to think before shooting and could have found another way to handle the situation. They also reminded the judge that LaNeshaia and Drenesia never had a weapon, and there were no signs that they were trying to hurt Doris. The trial became very important because it made people in Dallas start to ask big questions. What does it mean to defend yourself? When is it okay to use a weapon? These questions were on everyone's minds. As the trial continued, the case became known not only across Dallas, but also on social media. People from all over the city and even from other parts of the country were talking about Doris's case. News outlets shared stories, and many people shared their opinions online. Some said Doris should be punished for killing the mother and daughter. Others said that she was just trying to protect herself. Social media became a place for people to discuss and argue about the case. Some people made videos about it, while others wrote long posts about what they thought happened. Some even took sides, saying that Doris was either guilty or innocent. These online discussions helped make the case very famous. In the court, the judge and the lawyers listened to everything carefully. They asked many questions. They looked at all the evidence. They thought about the gun, the apartment, and the words that Doris said. All of this would help the judge make the final decision. The judge didn't decide right away. It would take time for the judge to think about all the facts and make a fair choice. In the end, the judge would either find Doris guilty of murder or decide she acted in self-defense. But until then, everyone in Dallas, and even people on social media, would keep talking about the case. People were waiting to hear the final decision. This case became so important because it wasn't just about one woman or one tragic event. It was about how we all deal with fear, how we react in dangerous situations, and when it's okay to use force. It was about what is right and what is wrong. Now, the question that everyone was asking was, what will the judge decide? And even though the trial was still going on, it was clear that this case would change the way people think about safety, fear, and the choices we make when we feel threatened. The city of Dallas would never forget Doris Walker, Drenesia Willis, or LaNeshaia Pinkard. Doris didn't get to go home after she was arrested. Instead, she had to stay in jail until the court decided what would happen to her. The court set her bail at $500,000. Bail is the money someone has to pay if they want to leave jail before their trial. If Doris could pay the money, she might be able to get out of jail while she waited for her trial. But $500,000 was a lot of money, and not many people can afford that. Doris stayed in jail because she couldn't pay the bail. While Doris was in jail, the police continued their investigation. They wanted to find out if Doris really felt threatened or if there was something else going on. They also needed to look at the facts and evidence to see if Doris should be charged with a crime. The investigation was very important because it would help the court decide what happened and what justice would look like. Drenesia's friends talked about her being a kind and fun person. They remembered how she loved to dance and make funny videos. Her classmates said she was always ready to help others and had a smile that could light up a room. LaNeshaia's friends and co-workers said she was one of the hardest working people they knew. She did everything she could to provide a good life for her daughter, and everyone admired her strength and kindness. The family members were left heartbroken. They could not believe that such a violent act had taken away the people they loved. Many of them spent time together, supporting each other during this difficult time, but the sadness was heavy on their hearts. The community was shocked and confused. Many asked how such an event could have happened in a place where people were supposed to feel safe. In the days after the tragedy, the community came together to honor Drenesia and LaNeshaia. People in the neighborhood and their schoolmates gathered for a candlelight vigil. A vigil is when people hold candles in honor of someone who has passed away, and they gather to remember them. The vigil took place at the school where Drenesia had attended. It was a quiet night. The only sounds were people talking softly and the flickering of candle flames as they lit up the dark. At the vigil, friends, family, and classmates spoke about Drenesia and LaNeshaia. They shared memories of the good times they had together, stories of laughter, and how much they would be missed. Even though it was a sad time, people felt a sense of togetherness. Everyone stood united in their grief, showing their love and support for the victim's family. The vigil was also a time to reflect on how important it is to be kind to one another. The loss of Drenesia and LaNeshaia left everyone thinking about how precious life is and how important it is to make good choices, especially when emotions are running high. Some people even said that they wanted to do more for the community to make sure something like this never happened again. The vigil wasn't just about sadness. It was also about remembering the love that Drenesia and LaNeshaia gave to everyone around them. The community showed that even in times of loss, they could come together to support one another and spread love. The court will now decide if Doris acted in self-defense or if it was a murder. The investigation is still going on. The police have to gather all the evidence and talk to everyone involved to understand what led up to the shooting. They will also look at the apartment building's rules and whether Doris had the right to use a gun. Everyone in the community is waiting to see what the court will decide. The family of Drenesia and LaNeshaia hopes that justice will be served. They want to know the truth about what happened that day. They want to make sure that something like this never happens again, not just to them, but to anyone else. If this story gripped your heart and left you questioning the truth, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with others who need to hear it. For more chilling true crime stories that dive deep into the mysteries behind these tragedies, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell. You won't want to miss our latest updates, investigations, and thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being part of this journey with us as we uncover the truth and seek justice. Together, we can make a difference. Stay safe, stay aware, and we'll see you in the next one.